In October 2021, the Chuttlemen, Ross, Brian, and Sam, convened at a cabin in the woods to start a podcast. Deep in the basement, they discovered the Goo Book. Unfortunately, they had made the mistake of muttering the incantation inside. Now cast into the Chuttleverse and trapped in a time loop, they are the crypt keepers of the Goo Gods, forced to ask and answer the same questions about a different horror movie every episode. This episode, they are chuttling.
The Thing. Welcome to a brand new broadcast of Chuttle the Pod, the only interdimensional horror movie club trapped in a time loop. For today's sacrifice, we are offering 1982's The Thing to the god of monsters, Shan Yao Zun, with a little sci-fi modifier. Thanks so much for joining us. Sam, are you here?
Sup, I'm here.
He is here. Ross is not here. He had to go on an expedition to Outpost 31, but he might be able to chime in a little bit
Turns
later.
out there's a room for that.
There is a room for that. And more important than us, we're so excited to welcome two brand new guests to the show, Kelly and Sarah from Final Girls. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And thanks for choosing this movie, which, like we were just saying, we can't do on our podcast because there's no women. And so it's nice to be able to talk about it in some format.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a classic. And I thought about that as soon as you said The Thing would be a good one. I was like, I bet they want to do this because they aren't going to get the chance on their own show.
Exactly. Although we were talking about doing McCready for Final Daddy. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
He is a gorgeous man. So.
Good work. Tell us a little bit about your show real quick and tell people.
So we are a Final Girls podcast. We've been around for a little over a year, almost a year and a half. And it's been really fun. We release episodes every Wednesday, and we talk about one Final Girl per episode. So we dive into her story, her arc, her survival skills, what we can learn from her, also kind of how it relates, her story and themes relate to being a woman today. So it's really fun. We've made some really great friends, had some really great conversations, and just really excited to be here with you guys. So thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks for coming.
Our pleasure. And I love the idea for that show. It's a very unique within the space and awesome to hear. So that's definitely want to,
Thank you.
Bring
Yeah.
you on.
It's fun.
So thanks again for coming to our silly little show.
We're honored to be here.
Very silly too, to be clear. So it's fine.
We are honored to be here.
Awesome. Before we continue, I must take a moment to thank our Ghoulites, whose offerings sustain the crypt, keep the signal strong for just $3 a month. If you want to support us in other ways, you could subscribe, rate, review, and comment. Share the show. We appreciate all you do for us. Now, with all club members present and the acolytes avowed, it's time to crack open the Goo Book and officially begin tonight's meeting. Oh boy.
Chuttle Rion Aspartus.
Give me that goo. Oh yeah.
Thanks, Sergio. That's our good buddy Sergio.
Welcome from the horror bandwagon.
Yeah. Logline. A research team in Antarctica is hunted by a shape-shifting alien that assumes the appearance of its victims. And we had a couple taglines for this one. Some are good, some are fun. First one, anytime, anywhere, anyone.
Ooh.
That's good.
That is good. Tells the tale.
The one I like is the next one. Man is the warmest place to hide.
Oh, that's
I heard
great.
that one too. I like that a lot. Yeah.
That would make me very curious about seeing it. The ultimate in alien terror as well, which I believe is on the poster. Or
It's on my shirt,
seen
too.
it
It's on
some of the
Sam's
posters.
shirt.
Oh, there it is on Sam's shirt. So that perfect. So that'd be the one most everyone knows. And there's a video box one, but it's not that great. So let's get into who made it and start it off.
Who forged this tribute for the Goo Gods?
The movie was directed by John Carpenter, a screenplay by Bill Lancaster, and the story is actually based on one called Who Goes There by John W. Campbell Jr.
Yeah.
And John Carpenter. I'm sure we're all
Heard
familiar with
of
him.
Yeah.
Just a
Halloween.
small name. Just a small name.
Yeah. They Live, The Fog. I included Escape from New York and LA because why not? Those are fun.
Kurt Russell.
In the Mouth of Madness, which we've covered
Yep.
as well. So
Mhm.
I guess I'll just ask it now. Halloween or The Thing higher up on your John Carpenter list for who? Anyone? I'd
I'll
put
start.
Halloween top
Go
for
ahead.
me.
Halloween's the top for you. It's the Thing for me, for sure.
Sure.
My husband's gonna get mad at me for saying this, but it's Halloween for me. He names all of our pets after Kurt Russell characters.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Our cat is Pliskin.
I was just
Nice.
gonna
Who's
ask.
Pliskin? Mm-hmm.
You know, rewatching this movie yesterday and having rewatched Halloween recently, I'm going to go with The Thing, to be honest.
This is
Ooh.
okay.
Don't take away my horror card, but I just, I know because I shouldn't be saying that because Laurie Strode, I know, like final girl for the ages, and
Right,
she's
yeah.
amazing.
Mhm.
But like this movie is so cool, and I remembered. Obviously, everyone remembers the effects, but it had been a while since I had seen like the movie from start to finish, and I just really enjoyed it again. So
It's a fun movie.
so
Yeah,
fun.
Yeah.
excellent. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
I mean, they're two great films. I think you would get almost a 50-50 shot from a lot
Yeah.
of people in
Yeah.
general with it because they're two different vibes as well.
Very
Both done
different.
very well.
Yeah.
Bill Lancaster, the only other credits he has is he did the Bad News Bears series,
Oh wow.
Those baseball
Okay.
movies about like those kids,
The
or
kids
whatever.
who
Yeah.
curse, right? I haven't seen
Something
it.
like that. Yeah. So
Is that the
that and
tagline?
thing. Probably for one of them. They were ridiculous. Kurt Russell, obviously, is in this one. Bone Tomahawk, which we've covered. Death Proof.
Mhm.
That's
Proof,
true.
Escape
Yeah.
from New York, LA, Stargate. He's in Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, the Apple show about Godzilla and whatnot.
Yeah.
Big Trouble in
Guardians
Little
of the
China.
Galaxy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those were the most horror, sci-fi
Kind of
angled
related,
ones I could
yeah,
find.
related
Obviously, that's a
in,
big
yeah.
cast for him here.
Executive
And he
Decision wasn't on there. The horror
didn't
movie.
include it. No, and he's definitely looking great with all that hair. He has so
Oh,
much.
the
Man, I'm so
hair.
jealous of the
It just
hair and the
looks
beard.
Oh, knock it off.
It just looks so like
My
healthy and
eyes.
soft and
It's
like
so thick too.
I know. I just wow, amazing.
Yeah.
His hair stole the show. So
I think I read he had been growing it out for like a year
Yeah.
to get to
Okay.
that.
Yeah, his
That's
hair
what I
is
got.
its own character in this movie for
yeah,
sure.
it's
Certainly.
very noticeable. Yeah.
Sam used to have long ass hair, like his hair
Really?
curls
Long
too.
locks.
So he had long locks.
Nice.
I could get close, but
Chopped
I couldn't
it.
do that.
His more the wave. Wilford Brimley didn't have much other horror credits. Obviously, a lot of credits, and I mean, we knew
Diabetes.
not we. The diabetes commercials were
Yeah.
growing
Yeah.
up or everywhere. So
Mhm.
that may have
It's
been
crazy
one of my
that
first
that's what-
experiences with them.
That's what people remember. Like that's what I think of too. It's silly, but
Oh, first thing, yeah. And he's credited as a Wilford Brimley in this. I noticed that in the credits. I was like, huh, I didn't know he was an a Wilford Brimley.
He's not just. He's
I
not
thought he
the
was
Wilford
the
Brimley.
Wilford Brimley.
Yeah, right. Keith David. Keith David has 407 credits on IMDb.
I believe it. He's in everything.
Wow.
I kind of went through. He's in They Live. He was the voice of Spawn for a while and some of the
That-
animated stuff.
that's what my fiance always says whenever we see or hear him. He's like, it's the voice of Spawn. I'm like, he's been in like other things where he actually shows his face.
Oh, that's
so.
amazing. Well, it's those roles stick with you. It's not a horror role, but he's in the 6th season of Community, and me and my wife love that show and watch it all the time. So I immediately think of
There you
him
go.
in his Community role.
Nah.
Yeah, Pitch Black, Nope, more recently, and Tales from the Crypt episode. And then most of the other guys weren't really in too much more. So other cast: T.K. Carter, David Clinton, Richard Dysart, Charles Hallahan, Peter Maloney. He was in Thinner. Noted that.
Oh.
And Richard Mazur
Bennings.
was in the TV miniseries of It.
That's what it was.
Clark,
Okay.
the dog guy, right?
I'd have
He's,
to look at the
I think it is. Yeah, Richard Mauser.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The guy in charge of the dogs. You're right. Yeah.
Donald Moffat, Joe Polis, and Thomas G. weights. So that's our cast. Big cast, 12 people, and some
All men.
Norwegians are in there. All men.
No women
the-
going to the Antarctic in 1982.
Which is apparently based more on what the short story was, a more faithful. They said it was all
And
men in the story.
That's
I
a
guess.
pretty old book, right? Because there was also The Thing from Outer Space, which is like a 50s movie
51,
or something
yeah.
that was based on that book. So
Yes.
I'm not familiar.
All right. Who is this horror for? And most importantly, do you think this is good for a beginner getting into horror?
It's hard to, it's tough. It's a tough one because it gets a bit extreme with like the practical effects and things. But I feel like if someone's like, all right, yeah, I like horror. They watched a few things. I want to get into horror. You could certainly give them this one. But if they're uncertain and you're trying to hook them in, I don't know if I would show them The Thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's for gorehounds, right? Like, because that's the set piece of the movie. I know, like, I remember reading that some of the reviews were really critical when it came out because the characterization is kind of light. And so it's really just, I think I saw that Ebert called it a barf bag movie or something.
Wow.
And so I wouldn't show this to a beginner horror fan. I mean, mostly, I mean, even if you just count the dog scenes, which are really hard to stomach, to be honest, I could have done without that. I forgot about that. And so that's a tough thing for most people to watch. But it's funny because we just released our episode on The Substance today. And I kept thinking of The Substance while rewatching it. Oh, okay, great. I was like, there's that nasty pile of like human flesh, just like in The Substance.
Monster Elizasu.
I think I would recommend it. It would depend on what the beginner newbie horror wanted. If they were just like kind of skeptical about the genre, I wouldn't. But if they were ready to go all in on the genre because it's such a cult classic, I'd be like, you have to see this one. So I think there's two different answers to that for me.
That's fair. That's fair.
Sure. It'll definitely let you know if you are a gorehound and into that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
No
for
doubt.
sure.
Might create a different type of horror fan. I mean, you could still probably be interested maybe and see it and be like, I would rather watch Paranormal Activity or something.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Or like The
It's
Ring
a good
or
litmus
something.
test. Yeah.
that. Yeah. With caveats. I think Ross would say, yeah, it's for beginners. He'd be
Oh,
all
yeah.
in. He probably
Totally.
watched it when he was like,
Be like, I
7.
showed it to my kids.
It's a rite of passage.
Yeah. What subgenre do you think this fits into? I mean, it's pretty
Sci-fi,
basic.
alien,
Yeah.
gore.
Feature.
And mystery, paranoia.
It's got
mystery.
the paranoia.
Adventure.
Yeah, for sure. It's got the like, you don't know who to trust thing going on very heavily, which is one of my favorite subgenres. I don't know what to call it, but I love that.
It's almost like a whodunit type of thing.
I
but
was
yeah.
gonna say, it
is.
kind of reminds me of a spy movie with like a mole in it, but
yes.
like a sci-fi horror
Yeah.
version of it that takes place in Antarctica.
Yeah. So if that's that. Yeah, that does
That does it.
And what is the best advice you think you could give someone before going into this movie? My would be that you're going to see some gnarly, gory stuff,
Dog stuff.
Yeah.
dogs stuff. And yeah, that might be much, but
But
otherwise
enjoy it.
I don't want to
mean,
say much. Yeah. I would say like
just
enjoy
go into it and
this.
have a good time. Turn off the lights, get into it.
Yeah.
This isn't a Sunday afternoon movie. This is a Friday night tuck under the covers.
Feel the isolation.
Turn your
Yeah.
AC all the way up and get some
Yeah.
blankets.
Interesting. Yeah.
Maybe if you got like one of those big freezers in your garage, you could
There you
climb
go.
inside
Sure.
and watch it from there.
There you go.
Just to
That's
really
safe, yeah.
live the experience.
Immersive.
Healthy.
Yeah.
Well, I think kind of talking about the gory aspect of it will lead us into what could be some trigger warnings, which is I'm going to say body horror for sure. If you have things with that, and then also we've mentioned it a few times, dogs.
Mhm.
Plenty of dogs getting
Messed up in
Horrifically
various
cold.
ways.
Yeah.
various ways, like to put it lightly. So those are the two big top ones off the top of my head. But I don't
that's all I can think of
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, fortunately, we don't have to give a trigger warning about some of the things that we typically have to
Yeah,
on our
for
show.
real,
So
for real.
I am pleased with that.
Yeah.
And lastly, we have the god of gore, Ugat Malu, and he likes a lot of gore. Do you think he would be satisfied with this movie? And I would say yes. I think he
Absolutely.
He gets a taste.
This satisfies the gore god.
We are out of that and we can get into our spoiler territory.
What does that smell?
Do you remember if you smelled anything funny?
Ugh, what's that smell again? Obviously, it arrived spoiled.
It isn't good. It's spoiled.
Smells, therefore it's spoiled, and we can spoil this movie and talk about whatever we want at this point. I'll kick it off with some IMDb behind the scenes real quick. Obviously for this one, like all the big heavy hitters out there, there's like 100 pages of trivia to work through. So
I noticed.
I
Yeah.
whittled this down as best I could here. First and foremost, John Carpenter has stated that of all his films, this is his personal favorite. So he's over on your side there.
Great.
And did you know that the poster artist Drew Struzan created the poster before the film overnight without having seen any photos?
I
So
did know
was just
that, which
kind
is
of
why
idea.
you can't. It doesn't seem kind of related or something. Although I love the
Right.
poster, and I love Struzan's posters in general. This one's kind of different than like your Indiana Jones is or something. But I love this poster.
Yeah, no, I think
It captures the vibe.
exactly what I was going to say. It, even though it's like that, does that make sense
Mysterious
for what
parka.
the movie was? But yeah, mysterious. That's what it's all about.
I feel like when I look at it, it reads more as like an astronaut to me. And I think that might be intentional because they were obviously trying to capitalize on like the alien craze at the time because of the tagline and everything too. But I don't know. The poster's all right to me. I don't know if it would have like really grabbed me because it doesn't read like horror to me, to be honest. But it is, still well done.
I get it.
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm trying to think. We'll get into our histories of it, or we can just get into it now. I didn't see this relatively young or even in my teenage horror phases. I think I got to it a little bit later in life, maybe because I knew about the dog stuff, and that's what really turns me off about it.
Yeah.
But I remember growing up seeing that poster and it being such a thing and ingrained in my head. So at least did its job in some aspect of always being prominent
That's fair,
in
yeah.
there. But I'm also a little sci-fi head, so I like
sci-fi.
kind of interesting. So I was like, is it? I don't know. Who knows? The dog thing was created by Stan Winston, who declined screen credit as he didn't want to take away from Rod Botwin's work, who did all the other stuff, which is
Rob Bottin.
phenomenal. But Bottin,
Bottin.
great.
Glad someone
so
knows.
yeah, the creature effects in this are fantastic and wonderfully weird, and it took a lot of work. Like,
So strange. It's like, no matter how many times I've watched this, I'm still like trying to figure out what I'm looking at half
Yeah.
the time.
right.
Everything's
There's
so
like
wet.
food and like jam and jelly and
Limbs, the dog's
egg,
like
egg yolk.
head
There was one that
open.
looked like
Yes,
an egg
I
yolk.
noticed that.
Yeah.
And just like so many different things too. There's like that when the head removes
Yeah.
itself, it's all like green and stringy in a different way that we hadn't seen.
Yeah.
Like it's fascinating stuff. Rob went I think got a little overworked. I read on the set that he
did
like
he?
suffered from some sickness and stuff. He just went a
I
little too
mean,
crazy.
Look at that shit.
Shows the word.
It shows.
It's in there.
Live on forever.
As you may know, John Carpenter, this is the first of his films he did not score himself. The original choice of composer was Jerry Goldsmith, but he had passed, so Ennio Morricone was chosen instead.
Oh,
I saw
He
that.
decided to compose a very, low-key Carpentier type of vibe.
I didn't see his name. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think he also did he's definitely done other movies we covered. I just
Mission?
can't think of it right
He
now.
did. Yeah.
I don't know The Mission.
It's not a
Think-
horror movie.
I think he
No.
may have done Bird
Oh.
with the Crystal Plumage.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You love their giallos. Other people considered for Mac, so he was not at the top of the list. Nick Nolte was the top choice. And at the time, I think he wasn't he supposed to be heartthrobbing?
He
way back
could have been,
when?
I don't know, 82.
He rejected the role. So did Jeff Bridges, Tom Berenger, Christopher Walken, Scott Glenn, Roy Schneider, Chris Christopherson, Sam Shepard, Jack Thompson, Tom Atkins, Don Johnson as well.
Wow.
And when Bill Lancaster was writing this script, people he had in mind as Mac were Harrison Ford or Clint Eastwood.
I can see that.
Out of that list of actors that you named, I would have taken Jeff Bridges and no one else.
That's
Jeff Bridges,
interesting.
I could have seen.
I would have taken only Chris Christopherson of that.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, none of them really did it for me. I guess it's because it's been so ingrained.
So Kurt Russell hadn't worked with John
Kurt Russell.
Carpenter yet, right? This was his first one, I think, if I'm thinking about the release order of John Carpenter movies correctly. I wonder if he was still like kind of like the Disney kid star. I wonder if he had really done any adult movies yet.
Oh, sure.
It's a good question.
All right.
Yeah, that is a good question. Because I know.
Let's find out.
Yeah. Final Girl Research. This is what we call the Final Girl Research.
So Escape from New York
Nice.
came out in 1981.
Oh, so it was a year.
Right around the time.
So-
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was like just a year before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. And then this was his first bomb. That's why I know that. The only reason I know that is I know, or thought that is because I know The Thing was John Carpenter's first movie he made that like bombed. It
Right.
tanked.
Yeah, people did not like all the creature feature and special effects that we like so
They
much.
weren't ready.
They weren't ready. Yeah.
So apparently, Tobe Hooper was originally slated to direct and co-write the film before John Carpenter, and he had it more like a Moby Dick, Ahab like character named the Captain who's going on this epic quest to kill the Thing, and it would have been a more like I think he said like a horror comedy with like slapstick humor and stuff.
Interesting.
I think that,
Yeah,
I
it's
think the
completely
trivia
different.
said like swashbuckling vibe. And
No.
I'm like, I don't-
Yeah, it was pitched
I
as
don't
a
like that.
swashbuckling action adventure epic.
Pass.
A modern day Moby Dick set not in the ocean, but at the bottom of the world, Antarctica.
Wow.
Okay. I mean, I'd still like to see that, but not.
Yeah, give us both.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
glad we
Both,
got
yeah.
this one. If I had to choose between the two, it's
Yeah,
definitely
100%.
John Carpenter's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might have had the charm of like, you know, a B-C movie from the time
Yeah.
that you kind of watch and laugh at a little bit as opposed to
Mhm.
what
Right.
this is.
Mhm.
Oh, in a 1982 interview, Rob Bottin revealed that the idea for a man's stomach ripping open into a big mouth and biting off another man's arms was something he said to John Carpenter jokingly. And Carpenter apparently laughed and added, "That's not a bad idea." And that's how we got.
Why the
I
hell
remember having stuff like that in The Mouth of Madness too, where like people would joke about something and John Carpenter was like, you know what? Yeah, make that.
Yeah, let's go with it.
Throw it in there.
Apparently, speaking of the monsters, they took like 50 puppeteers to operate the Blair monster at the end of the movie.
Nice. That's a lot of puppeteers.
Yeah, 'cause what did we say? The alien? We just talked about aliens, and the Queen was
the
like
Queen was like a dozen.
20 or something like that, or just under that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more weird appendages and tentacly things and all that kind of stuff, I think, going on with the Thing.
The Blair monster.
Kind of miscellaneous limbs.
Mm-hmm. Very Monster Elizasu.
Yeah. There you go.
That's pretty
Head to head.
good with this the trivia. I have other more trivia. We'll just
They'll probably come
sprinkle
up.
in to come up and everything. But let's give a quick recap of the film. This is where
Cool.
Sam and I would stick our hands into our respective buckets of goo. Whoever the goo sticks on is going to give the recap. So we put
It's
our hands
cold.
in, and it's cold and filled with things. So we pull our hands out. Goo drips off Sam's hand, stays on mine. So I'll give you guys my recap of the Thing real quick. It is pretty quick because, we'll talk about all the good stuff in a moment. But basically, we have this group of 12 guys at a research station in the middle of Antarctica, and they are getting ready for the upcoming winter when a stray dog runs into their camp being chased by a helicopter full of
Norwegians.
We come to find out, trying to kill it. Yeah, they're like throwing grenades and like shooting at this dog and stuff. The Americans think the Norwegians have probably gone crazy, cabin fever or something like that. So they take the dog in. One of the Norwegians actually kills himself, and then they kill the other Norwegian.
That's so silly.
Yeah. Turns out dog isn't a dog. It's a thing, alien that we learned that has crashed in the ice seemingly thousands of years ago, kind of got frozen in, and we come to learn the Norwegians found it, and it started the problem over at their base. Its main thing is that it gets a bit of your DNA and is able to assimilate you and turn into a pretty much a perfect replication of whatever it interacts with. This movie basically, I wrote for the kids out there, this movie is basically a massive game of Among Us, which Among Us is pretty much based on the thing. Yeah.
Exactly. Or Mafia or Werewolf, like any of those. Yeah.
Yeah. This sort of, who among us type of thing. They realize that if the thing reaches a city, it could take over the whole world in a matter of weeks. But since it looks like a human, nobody really knows who is what and who is themselves, who's the thing. So they start turning on each other. And this is where we talked about the paranoia aspect, mystery of all it going on. You're sitting there watching, trying to figure out who's who. To find the monster, eventually, Matt comes up with the blood test. This is probably one of the things that sticks out in my head as well.
Yeah,
where he gets the idea to heat up like a copper little wire, stick it all into their blood, and if it reacts, that's a baddie. Apparently, this was also kind of pulled from the story a little bit. This is like one of the scenes that is in the story. There's something about like a heated up copper thing touching the blood to kind of do this.
Cool.
They do this. It gets crazy. People start. This is where we're talking about. Yeah.
Goose out.
Exactly. Goose out. We eventually get there. The chest opening, giant teeth, arms being bitten off, heads sprouting into spider legs, walking away, guys transforming into piles of gore and goo, which ultimately leads us to the end of the movie where the remaining survivors, which is pretty much, Mac Childs and a few others, they've determined they're going to blow up the base. They start putting dynamite and all that kind of stuff all around. This is where we run into our Blair thing, the final boss and all that.
Yep.
Have to fight off, kill that. Ends with them both freezing in the snow, looking at each other, wondering if one of them is the thing. And we're left wondering as well.
Figure I'll just wait here a little while.
So, the premise of this film, basically, what if you couldn't trust anyone around you? Someone might not be who they say they are. They're an alien creature. Does that work for you?
I'm on board immediately. I love this type of thing.
Yeah.
Good one. There's going to be a lot of thing puns, I think.
Yeah, I like it. I find it fun. It's, again, like a spy novel or something, where you're finding the mole. It's always fun. Yeah, it's always fun premise.
I think they do a good job too of not giving the game away. It's like sometimes people will look kind of suspicious and you're like, that's too obvious. And then it turns out not to be that person. And so I think, nowadays, and we talk about this with like Scream and stuff too. It's like, you can start to get the clues and put them together. But this movie, I didn't feel, I've seen it before, but like I'd forgotten, honestly. And so I didn't feel like spoiled by the movie as I was watching it. I felt like I was watching it unfold very organically. And that like super worked for me. I was like, yes, it's probably everyone by now.
Yeah, right.
Right. And I think it's such a good basic premise too. It's simple in the
Invasion
fact
of
that
the Body Snatchers.
Exactly.
Kind of.
Yeah, almost as we said, a whodunit type of thing, and then just adding on that alien twist and just the gory nature of it definitely works for little horror heads and everything. I think the opening is something I didn't remember. I didn't remember that it just blatantly starts with a spacecraft flying towards Earth,
right?
And crashing into. I'm like, oh, okay, that's right. It's in it right away that we're dealing with an alien creature.
I love that title card too.
I think probably when I was younger, that definitely worked for me. And it worked for me again. I like that aspect to it. And then but then we're chasing a dog and shooting at it, and I'm like, oh no.
You're like, oh no, maybe don't. Don't do that.
What is happening?
So, I get a little.
They really
a little
hate that
weirded out.
dog.
Yeah.
It's a bad
But
dog.
I get happy when, he comes up to the guys and they're like, okay, we'll protect you, dog. But I'm at the same time, I'm like,
It's not a
I
dog.
know this
it's
dog is
it's
going to be a
thing.
problem. Why'd it have to be the dog? So just pulling you into the story here, you understand what do you feel that was effective?
Definitely for me, it's like such a mystery. What is going on? Like, I don't. In all aspects, there. I guess we're at some research station with these guys, but now there's this helicopter of other people shooting at a dog. Why would they be doing this? They blow themselves up with a grenade. It gets me.
It really works that they're not speaking English, because obviously if they were, then that would, spoil the mystery right away, because they would be like, hey, that's a monster. We got to kill it, like whatever. And so it's nice that it's a nice touch that I don't speak the language, so I didn't know what they were saying. But maybe if someone does speak the language, then they do understand the movie like right from the start. I don't know.
They theoretically would. It would be Norwegian, I guess, but it did translate to get the hell out of there. That's not a dog. It's some sort of thing. It's imitating a dog. It isn't real. Get away, you idiots.
So literally, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's wild.
So that'd be a totally different experience of it.
Now I'm
Going into
curious. Like, yeah.
I mean, I guess
Maybe in Norway they dub it in something else.
Right? Do they have
Point.
Maybe they do make them Swedish,
That's
like
Dane.
Kurt Russell thinks. Yeah.
The Swedish line was really funny.
Calls them Swedes twice, I think.
Yeah, a couple times he thinks they are. So I think it's really great at bringing us into that. And then the filmmaking of itself. I mean, I think we should just kind of start talking about what the real big draw, or to a lot of
Of the
people,
movie
is the creature
The
aspects,
practical
and all
effects,
that,
the creature
practical
effects, all that stuff.
And it really starts pretty quickly, because we get the dog coming into the camp and everything, and then it quickly gets put into a kennel with other dogs, and I'm like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't like this even more now, because those are real dogs. This thing's a thing, but those are dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are just innocent
And it
dogs.
gets pretty
yeah.
brutal. I mean, that first thing that we really get is
Its face
Its
like peels
face
back like a
peeling back.
banana.
And its skull like falls out, and then it's just like a tongue.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Whoa,
Yeah.
who
pretty
thinks of
gnarly.
this?
I actually, it's not like funny because I don't like the dog death either, but I laughed because the movie goes from like 0 to 1,000 instantly with that. And it just kind of like really shocks you into like, oh, this is the worst situation these people could possibly be in. So
I like that though, because it's not like, even as much as I love Alien, that takes a while to get going, because you have a lot of like interpersonal politics and
Totally.
with all of the whatever were they, astronauts, whatever, space crew, and then
like
for
miners.
here, miners, that's right. But like here, it goes right into it, and then the themes of loneliness, or not loneliness, the themes of like paranoia and mistrust and masculinity start to unfold rather than kind of set it up. And I love that. I love when movies do that, especially because like the movie is, I think, paced really well.
Yeah.
So it starts strong and it just keeps going. The momentum starts right away and just keeps going.
And we were just talking about this with the movie It Follows, which like, this is not a spoiler because it happens in the first 30 seconds of it's 2 minutes of the movie. But like the very first thing we see is a person like post like death from the entity, and it's really brutal looking. Like she's all like twisted up and everything. And I think that it works really well for
And we don't know
horror
how it
movies.
happened.
You don't know how it happened. You didn't see it happen. And then it just sets the stakes. Like it lets you know like how dire things are. And that's scary. So I agree. I like a slow burn too, but it's nice to like right off the bat understand like what we're dealing with, or at
What
least
you're
some
working with.
semblance of it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and then it like grows spider legs, and then like spaghetti flies out of it.
Spaghetti! Don't ruin spaghetti for me.
Like you get a touch of gore when they go into the Norwegian lab.
Yeah.
There's the guy that has
I love that so
I do
much.
too.
throat, presumably, and has like
And
the
the
veins
blood,
hanging
like,
out,
Yeah.
gooping or whatever. Yeah,
It's like the blood froze as it was pouring out of him.
That's
And
I literally
his
was
head's like neck is cut in half.
Yeah, he sliced the hell out of his. Yeah, he was very motivated. But yeah, the frozen
It really didn't want to
blood-
be a thing. That
No,
guy.
I don't blame him, I guess. But yeah, that's such a cool scene.
I love it. Yeah.
so like even there, even a what could normally just be a kind of not gory
Sure.
self-mutilation
Yeah,
is
you didn't
so
need all
that
that.
even dips your toe into what you
Totally.
expect, because okay, it's like I'm sitting here watching this, I'm like, all right, this is going to be pretty gory, but then we get a dog banana peel tentacle thing
Spaghetti.
going on.
And then like a
Just
tongue
shooting
flower
stuff out
monster.
everywhere.
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the tongue flower. Yeah,
Yeah, tongue flower.
So at one point, one of the dogs gets like sprayed with some sort of
Goo. I didn't like that.
goo. That I didn't like because I'm like, you're actually spraying a dog with this. Like
That's true.
as compared to the other stuff where I know, hey, that's not a real dog getting shot in the chest or whatever. This is like they're really
Right.
hurting that dog.
This is, I mean,
hurting. It's just
they're not.
you know,
Yeah, it's at least trying to get away from the goo spray. That's for
Right.
sure. And
Sure,
so-
sure.
distressing. Yeah,
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah, there are a few things I read about how they had to get like the dog noises. They like had a bunch of dogs in a room and were distressing them to get that. So I was like,
It's not, I mean, there's like the birds. Kelly told me how they did the birds where they put like the pins in the beak.
They taped like pins in the beaks so that it would pop
Oh.
the balloons. And then later they had to try to find those birds so that they could remove the pins from the beaks. It's like
in the bird
this-
in the movie, the birds.
In the birds. Yeah. It's not ethical, guys. Like
I don't think I've seen that since I've been
Oh,
like
no.
a kid. I'm definitely not going back, especially
Brian's,
my birding.
Brian's
phase
really
I'm
gotten
in
into
right now.
birding.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I
Kelly's-
love that.
Yeah, too.
I like
yeah.
birds, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, it's
That's
sad
tough.
to see the animals like actually get
Mhm.
put
Yeah.
through the ringer and
Right.
people.
Yeah, it
You
was
know?
like they also threw things at Tippy Hedren and like injured
Yeah.
her. So there's that. But yeah,
Right.
it sucks.
Or like
Yeah.
Marilyn Burns and Texas Chainsaw
Texas
Massacre.
Chainsaw.
Texas Chainsaw. Yep.
Yeah.
Let's not.
Let's not.
Or the treatment of oh my god, I'm totally blanking. The Shining.
Shelley Duvall,
Yep,
yeah.
we
Yeah.
talked about that too. Yep.
Yeah. That puts a little weird stain, like
It
It's not
does.
great.
stain on it. Well, this is a movie, a bunch of dudes yelling at each other, so it doesn't. They get machismo and like need to like fight each other. It made me
Yeah.
think about it a little bit. Like who are these guys? Because like
Mm.
are they all
McCready's
researchers? Why do they have so much booze?
They got a
Like-
doctor, they got a helicopter pilot. There's a few researchers, there's like a radio technician.
Yeah.
I don't know why the helicopter pilot is like the most badass leader of the bunch.
Because look at him.
I know.
Well, aside from looking at him.
I know. Yeah, they do. There's a lot of booze in the movie, but I mean, like, I've
J&B.
actually heard that about these outposts, like in Antarctica and stuff like that. That it's
Okay.
like just full of people with
How did they get that
severe
much
alcohol problems.
How did they get that much booze there? It seems difficult to get anything there. I thought that about the weed too. There's that time where what's his name? Palmer
the
lights up and hands
biggest
the
one
child.
I have ever seen. Yeah,
I was like, where are they getting this weed from? You can't grow it.
I guess they've got it stashed, and
Maybe there's another hydroponics area that
There you
they
go.
just
Sure.
don't see.
There's an
But
extra
again, that goes to-
generator.
All the stuff they're bringing. Like I feel like nowadays maybe like it might be easier to transport stuff there, but I feel like in the 80s to transport arcade machines and a pool, like it seems
Sure.
like you would
Mhm.
Good point.
prioritize food or something.
How'd they get it all there? By helicopter?
I don't know. Yeah, it just it was interesting because they have like a full bar set up too. I imagine
They
having a lot of
do.
booze, but the fact that it's like a decked out bar and rec room, but
and not
it's
just
great.
like
It's great set design. It
boxes.
looks really cool and fun and interesting, but at the same time,
It
I'm like,
reminds me honestly of the Nostromo and Alien, because like their shit is very similar. It's like, yeah, they've got
Sure.
their alcohol and their cigarettes and they're just hanging out playing cards and stuff. It's very similar. So
it's funny. That's a 70s, 80s thing where, yeah, if you're some sort of space
gotta get a
trucker
group of
or
people.
yeah, a group of people,
Yeah.
you got to have your cool arcades and booze and stuff.
And your cigarettes, yeah.
and your boombox.
Got to have cigarettes. Plenty. I mean,
Boombox, roller skates.
Yeah,
I
apparently.
loved that. I was like, that's what I'd be doing. Like that looks fun. So
that was so interesting to me, like, because we mentioned that all these people kind of are their own character, and it is. We talked about, I think, this on Aliens as one of a tropey thing of this badass crew and everyone having
Sure.
an individual nature. Which, as much as I'm like, that's weird, I feel like Antarctic research team might be more well rounded. Like each person would probably.
yeah, but
I don't
like,
know how to do a little bit more of all the things, but I love the idea that they're all these individual
Specialists.
very
characters.
ragtag.
Yeah,
but like,
specialists. Yes.
what are they even doing there? Like, do
That's
they
what I
ever
wanna know.
explain it in the movie? I mean, yeah, I assume they're researchers.
Just
Researching
looking for
what?
stuff, trying to find
What,
stuff
aliens,
before the
I guess?
Yeah, trying to beat Norway to something. Because they say there's like 7 other. They mention a number of other bases on Antarctica, and they're trying to get a hold of them, and they can't reach any of them. But I believe they're all separate countries.
And this is also like Cold War era, 80s
Sure,
Cold War
right.
era. So there's all kinds of R&D, like,
True.
yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because it's much of that time. Like, because I guess what I know of Antarctic missions now, they're drilling down and taking ice core samples. That's
Right.
what
I
I
don't know.
hear about.
Here's
But
something I thought of. If someone had offered like an all expense paid trip to Antarctica, and you could like go visit for a day, 2 days. Let's say you got to stay the night in a base and then come back. Would you want to go?
Yeah.
all paid? Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't
No,
I don't know that I would.
I'm not a big
I mean-
snow person. I don't like snow I live in California. I don't, I will go to Tahoe once in a while, but I'm not my thing. So
Now, what if it was an all expense paid, the experience? Like you get to
interesting.
you get to go basically play the thing.
oh my God.
Could we do it in like
Yes.
Colorado instead?
Yeah.
Nope.
My
So
thing
then
is-
we're playing
my-
The Shining.
Really, my thing is the isolation, right? It's the like being so separate from anything else if something were to happen.
Sure.
Yeah, totally.
Well, especially back then, I think too. I think it was harder to get to or whatever. So it might have been. I know you could take like ships, like trips. There are like day
Yeah.
trips down to
Right, yeah,
Antarctica
yeah.
and stuff.
Like if you're in Australia, maybe you can dip down. I don't know.
South
Chile.
America, probably.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
grandparents went on an Antarctica cruise
Did they?
like years ago. But yeah, I mean they were there for like a week, 2 weeks, because it takes so long to get there. You have to kind of make it worth your while.
Right.
But
Yeah.
there's this one subreddit called, it's like How's It Living There or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, you mentioned
And
that.
it's so fascinating, but every once in a while someone will post like, what's it like living in Antarctica? And those are my favorite because it's mostly military bases, but they're fully functioning cities with like hospitals and everything.
Wow.
So it's so fascinating. I always love reading those because they just seem like normal lives. They're just cold and dark, most of the year. So
right. Half the year it's dark all the time.
yeah. But it's
half it's light.
fascinating. Yeah.
That is, I agree. I'm just probably after this, I'm going to learn more about what's going on down there.
Yeah. Yeah.
How they
Check out
work.
that subreddit. It's really fun.
I will.
It's called like How's It Living There or something like that.
I think it's popped up a couple times in my feed.
I've seen like a few videos of like them opening the door to the Antarctic, land
Oh,
in front
yeah.
of them and
Just
like
like a
showing how
wall.
cold and crazy or just a wall of snow and stuff.
Mhm.
That's insane. Some of the other big, gore monster scenes
Oh, yeah.
and all that kind of stuff.
Monster scenes. That's right.
Not
snow. I mean, the other big one that sticks out to me is it's all kind of, together of when the chest bursts open, becomes a mouth, bites off some dude's hands, and then the head pulls itself off and becomes a spider head. Like,
Yeah.
that
with, like,
chain of
antenna.
events is fascinating. Which, once we're past the dog section, for me, I'm like, that's when I'm able to finally really get into the film and have fun with all that kind of fun stuff. Because the effects are absolutely amazing for it and what they're able to achieve.
I mean, once we're not like actually seeing dogs die, like it is kind of cool though that it incorporates some of the like canine features sometimes, like,
Yes,
of,
it
like
comes
into
back.
the body.
Yes.
Like that's but yeah, no, that's a crazy fucking scene. I love how sudden it's almost like the inverse of the alien chest burst. It's like chest excavation.
Cave in.
Just
Yeah.
swallow.
Just swallow.
Oh, also the dissection scenes. I'm not thinking of the right name. The
autopsy stuff.
The autopsy, thank you. Those are also like just so bizarre. You're seeing all the different pieces and he's cutting open the different layers and pulling stuff out.
Dude, that's what I was thinking. It's like just I was like, okay, so it's funny because he like cuts open a flap and then he just like reaches in and it's literally just like a bucket of goo and he's like, oh well, you know, there's actually perfectly normal
stuff,
like human organs in here. I was like, what is
that? What that is?
Like just a pile, just a red wet pile of something, and then there's like that one head that's like kind of morphed. It's like kind of
split in
stretched
two,
and
kind of.
everything.
Yeah, the one they pull from the Norwegian place and bring back.
Yeah.
That's still smoking when they unwrap it.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, you guys seriously brought that in. Okay. But then, yeah, the guy's head, the stretching of the head is like almost as creepy as when like it starts
sinews.
walking around. Yeah, how it's like, whoa, like, yeah, like Laffy
Drops down to
Taffy or
the
something.
floor.
Yeah.
And then Palmer sort of goozes. This is when they're all strapped to the couch. And, they do the blood test. And so then he starts like oozing out of all of his orifices. And I don't know, something grows out of his like feet or something. He shoots up and then he flies up to the ceiling.
Yeah.
It's such a fever dream.
It's chaos.
It is, yeah.
It's chaos.
It's like, what else can we throw into this creature right now? Or like, what other weird, funky things can we make it do?
Absolutely, yeah. Even the blood, the way the blood reacts to the hot copper, how it like kind of shoots up and almost looks like a weird little creature.
Yeah,
because that was such a smart thing that McCready like brings up is he figures out that it's not necessarily one contained entity. It's like different parts of it function as like their own selves. And so he just gets this theory that the blood is going to try to escape like the danger. And it's true. And that's fucking scary.
Yeah. And then even the blood moves on the ground afterwards, like tries to scoot away.
The whole blood scene, which is obviously great, builds that tension. You know, we get going back to heating up the copper wire, placing it in the blood, safe. Move on to the next one, paste it in, safe. But the tension just keeps building and everything. This is one of the scenes where they did design it so that if you go back and look, you can see that Palmer has like shadow over his eyes, but everybody else's eyes are lit. And that's one little thing to be like this
indicator.
See, but that would just be like a subconscious thing, you know, where like you'd be watching the scene and it's like you wouldn't notice, but it would be like in you as in your head, like as you're watching. So I like that subtle kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely a good bit of filmmaking. Also, I love, speaking of filmmaking, the sweeping vistas of Antarctica we get when they are outside during the daytime. I love the sort of cold isolation feeling it gives you. Even though I don't want to go, I'm like, I'd love to watch it.
That great like matte painting that we get is super beautiful too.
Gotta have a good matte painting.
And I mean, I do love, as ridiculous as I feel some of them are, I do love all the sets and all the machinery and all the different places we get to go within this place. It does feel very lived in.
Well,
even when it pertaining to these
light,
people.
like the red
from the flares.
Yeah, from the flare. It's iconic. Yeah, there's so much. I mean, it's so memorable.
And there's so much setting stuff on fire.
Yeah.
I just kept thinking like, is that easy to A, contain, B, to not like injure everyone around you, C, to not like destroy the facility? I mean, they literally use it to do that later and with the dynamite and everything, but I'm just like, they're just really free with that flamethrower.
Flamethrower.
Flame
So-
everything.
Going back to what are they doing there? Why do they have so many flamethrowers and so many guns?
And so much,
That's the thing.
so
Yeah,
much
why do they have all the
dynamite.
guns? The dynamite
Flamethrowers,
maybe because
maybe you
they're
need to melt
blowing
ice
up
or something.
holes in the ice or something. Yeah, they
but
need
the
to melt
guns, the whole
something.
gun case full of
They have a
shotguns. Why
lot
do they
of
need
guns.
Maybe that's the Cold War situation.
that? Oh yeah, in case the
Oh, it could
Ruskies
be.
come down.
Yep, exactly.
I think Antarctica is supposed to have some sort of like treaty type of thing. Like you can't.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
no nation can claim
No,
it type of
own
thing.
it,
But
yeah.
yeah. But
Not
yeah, I
that
guess you would
people
have guns in
necessarily
case.
like obey
Yeah.
treaties.
right.
but
Exactly.
Exactly. Okay. Makes sense to me now. That's why you gotta.
We've
Another
cracked
thing-
the code.
Quick on the filmmaking is when they blow up the base at the end, some of the shots are like really wide shots and it's nighttime and you just see the flames lighting up and it's kind of clearly a model that is
Oh, yeah.
it's all blowing up on.
Yeah.
But I love that. Like
Still looks
because
great.
it has its charm, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
charm
I
is a
like
good
that
word.
It looks that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also really like the scenes with Blair where he's he watches that really silly little like analysis on his computer of the cells like assimilating. It goes on so long and you're like, okay.
Is
It's
that
like he's
where
playing
he's-
Pac-Man. Like it looks so silly.
Is that where it says like chance of everyone getting it 75% or something like
75%.
that?
75%.
Chance of
And-
somebody being infected. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then within like a certain amount of time, it'll infect like this much of the world. Why would
Yeah.
that ancient computer like be able to extrapolate that? But anyway, doesn't
It's
matter.
funny that it came right after Escape from New York because I thought about it. I was like, man, John Carpenter really had this weird computer techno obsession because
Yeah.
we get a lot of that in Escape from New York as well.
I mean, I like the retro tag, but it is funny to see in this
Oh, yeah.
movie. But then it basically delivers like the most devastating news in the entire movie, which is that like they've got to essentially all die, or else the entire world might die. And so that's when Blair goes kind of nuts, and obviously he gets infected at some point. We don't know exactly when, but then he just starts like wrecking everything, which we've talked about in other movies. It's like sacrificing yourselves for like the greater good of humanity.
Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the Woods.
sure, yeah.
Well,
They go the other route, but
Right.
yeah. What was that Irish movie that we watched, Sarah?
Saint Maud? No.
No, it was like Deep Sea or something.
Dagon. Dagon.
No, not Dagon. That's not. No, that one where the little organisms could like get in your eyes and like explode your eyes.
Oh yeah, it was an undersea creature feature.
Something. Yeah, I can't remember. But
yeah.
But it
don't
reminded
know.
me of that too, where it's like, okay, sometimes you got to sabotage things to save everyone else. But I don't know. I thought the scenes with Blair were compelling, and I like when they when they put him in the shack because they're like suspicious, and also they're like, "Why'd you destroy everything?" And he just has a fucking noose just
When they
chilling
come
there.
back to visit him, yeah.
They don't say anything about it. They're just
No
like,
one
anyway,
mentions the news.
I'm all better now. I'd like to come back inside.
super great, super healthy, guys.
It's
yeah,
so
it's
funny.
pretty
But he did the right. I mean, he didn't go about it the right way, but it was the right idea, I think. And ultimately, that's what they land on is like, hey, we got to destroy everything and not let any of us get out of here.
Yeah.
I agree, but I think in the trivia, like John Carpenter said that Blair was infected by that point and that he was doing it to
Really?
fuck with them. So, I mean, but then again, like, and Brian, I know you know this because you read all the trivia too, but it's like Carpenter says conflicting things about everything in the movie, including
Yes.
the ending, which I know we'll get
Yes.
to. But so it's like this constant cat and mouse with the audience of like, yep, here's the answer for you. Just kidding. That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And
Well, I guess because he was building the little spaceship underground, and they say something how he took the parts from the helicopter and other things, but at the same time, it doesn't make sense because it seems like he's trying to keep everybody there, and why wouldn't you be trying to escape? Unless that something I thought about is the thing just trying to get off planet. It's not really trying to take over
Right.
the world. It just is trying to get out of here. I don't mean to crash into Earth.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we don't really know the thing's motivations, or if it
We don't.
because apparently I guess it does have some sort of motivation
Does
if it
it?
knows how to build us. If it knows how to build a spaceship
Has
and is doing that for a
technology.
purpose,
Huh.
that seems to be making some leap
reasoning.
towards
I was just
behind it.
thinking
doing something, right?
Well, and I was just talking to, this is one of my husband's favorite movies, and I was just talking to him about it, and we were talking because I asked him the same thing, and then he was explaining to me, and it made sense that this thing is just a wild animal, kind of like the xenomorph, where it's just, it kind of can't be trusted to do, to think or plan or anything, but it's the human, I guess, or that it takes on, the DNA. I don't know. It just
that
seems
gives
like
it
it's
like a higher intelligence.
yeah, exactly.
know
Like
if I
it's
agree.
self.
Well, even
Okay.
as the dog, it looks like before it gets put away with other dogs, he's kind of observing and watching
Yeah,
what everybody's
exactly.
up to. And then he
Okay.
sneaks into the one
Yeah.
guy's room. We don't see who it is, but we see the shadow. And he like waits and sneaks up to somebody alone.
Yeah.
So to me, it was like
Okay, that's
observing
fair.
everything
Yeah.
ahead of time.
Okay, that's fair.
I've seen some people mention, like, is the thing so good at replicating the person it is? Does that person know they're a thing, essentially?
That's
until
my
they
question too.
I saw that too.
push it
Yeah.
itself. I would think, based on the spaceship building, I would think so. That
Right.
they have some idea that they are the thing. And then
That's a good
again,
point.
yeah, the dog, I think when he is running, from the helicopter, he seems to look back at it a few times. Like he
I noticed
understands this
that.
thing is chasing me.
Hmm.
So
And throughout the camp, he's looking out the window, watching who's doing what.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch it again with this lens.
Yeah.
the only other thing I would say is maybe also the spaceship in the beginning, is it flying that thing? Like flying a spaceship tends to lead
Is
me
the
to
thing
believe that it
flying
has
that
some
thing?
sort
That
of,
thing.
I know, we're back to the
did it take
thing.
over something in another creature's spaceship or something like that?
Oh.
Because they mentioned
Yeah.
it going to worlds and
What if this
consuming
was a
the worlds or
xenomorph
whatever.
ship?
Right.
And the thing got in there.
Thingamorph.
I'd like to see that transformation.
That would be
God.
wild.
Made by Toby Hooper.
Yeah, yeah.
Swashbuckling.
Yeah, that's the swashbuckling of it, sure. So after we get to the point where we get the realization that you can like do the blood test thing, I feel like they could do that again, so they don't have to be as paranoid about each other at that point too.
That's
Like,
what
don't
I
they
was
have like an
thinking.
idea like this point of how to test the other person?
But also, speaking of the things like intelligence, we didn't mention that it sabotages like their blood storage because
Right,
it
that- yes.
realizes that they can use it
Right.
to possibly identify. And so
That's what I'm confused about. Is that blood their blood
Mhm.
or it was the infected blood?
it's their blood, because I assume if you're on like a remote research center, you probably maybe want an
Oh,
extra
you might
store
need
of like
some
your
blood.
own blood.
Yeah,
in case
yeah,
you
totally.
get injured.
something.
So,
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so that does seem to be sabotaged in some way.
Yeah.
They talk about like the person would have had to have unlocked it, opened it up, and then
Who has
relocked
the
it
key?
again.
yeah.
I saw a theory that the thing turned tentacly and was able to just tentacle its
Oh,
way into
yeah.
it,
What, like
destroy
venom?
all the
Like-
blood.
Yeah, exactly.
Just do like a kind of hand blender thing in there
Sure. I mean,
and take care of it.
Yeah.
So again, that just puts like it to like, yes, the one guy had the keys and he's the one that's supposed to be able to open it, but the thing can do weird shit.
Yeah.
So it still doesn't
do
always
weird
put
shit.
the blame on someone. Yeah.
Maybe it can get the DNA of a key and then like form its hand
Right?
into a
There you
key.
go.
Well, it also, the thing, Fuchs goes out in the snow, finds McCready's torn up clothing.
Yes,
And
exactly.
then he disappears. They come out and find him all burned up and find his glasses. They're like, he must have burned himself up before
Mhm.
the thing could get him. But then that torn up clothing is found inside the furnace of McCready's place by Knowles.
Yeah.
So so the thing
Misdirection.
must
Yeah.
have taken it, the torn up McCready clothes from Fuchs and brought it to McCready's place and put it in the furnace hoping somebody else would find it. I don't know.
Or, I mean, listen, these guys could be a bunch of dicks. I mean, we don't know if they're just trying to sabotage each other by that point. I like.
Well, and that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Because the paranoia would do that to you. I mean, at one point, Windows runs and breaks open the glass to get the shotgun. You know what I mean? They're all pointing guns at each other. The one guy steps down as leader.
And the dog guy. The dog guy goes to just like shank McCready and gets shot in the head immediately. And then they're like, oh, he was just human. Like,
right.
Yeah, they test
and so
down.
our hero of the movie is also just a murderer, I guess. Like,
execute. I mean, it was self-defense, but he was going to stab him.
Yeah, I guess it is self-defense at that point.
Right. But I didn't even think of that because I'm so wrapped up in the thing.
I mean, the human drama is definitely part of it. Yeah, because it doesn't even seem like a lot of these guys even really like each other. They're like constantly, they don't really seem like
coworker
friends. Like they're just barely.
Well, it's also their first
existing.
week. So.
Okay, is that what they said?
Well, they said
it's
the first week of
winter.
Oh,
I
don't know if we know how long
they've been there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I was wondering about too. Yeah, like either they've been there for a long time and are just on each other's. I guess maybe they're just been together for too long.
I mean, it could be like like cabin fever, like kind of.
They mentioned that of the Norwegians, the Swedish.
Right.
They say something like they've been out here for 7 weeks or something like, and they're like, that's not long enough to get cabin fever. So like,
okay, yeah.
Who knows how long they've been out there? 7 weeks or so, maybe as well.
Also, I don't know if there is a determined metric for how long it takes to get cabin fever. I think that might be subjective.
Right. I think it really depends on the person.
No, they haven't hit the length. Well, that's the Knowles, the cooks, make some sort of joke about that. Like, they just come out here for 5 minutes and you can lose it. I also like, he says, they're like, why are the Norwegians do this? And Knowles is like, maybe we're at war with Norway.
I mean, that's a good point because they don't know what's going on because they do mention they haven't been able to get in contact with anyone for 2 weeks, is what he mentioned. So they've been at least a couple weeks out now.
Yeah.
And they don't know what's going on. So that's interesting. Somebody had a theory I saw that was like, the thing had already like the rest of the world was already taken over or something by the thing
and they're the last
other
ones.
thing creatures, and that's why they can't get in contact with anyone.
Antarctica is it's finally the last place it's taking over.
That's like, did you guys ever play that game Plague? I think it was called Plague Inc. And it was like,
yes,
you did, really?
Yes,
and it's
definitely.
Like, I
you get to design
a
virus or whatever.
Yeah, you design a virus, and this is pre-COVID, so it's very distasteful now. Okay, but at the time, it was like you get like a map of the world, and you have to design a virus with like specific aspects to get it to spread across the world and like infect as many people as possible.
And Risk with a virus.
Yeah, exactly like that. Yeah.
And it goes through mutations, and you have to select what you want it to do.
But that's the thing, like the really isolated places were always the hardest to infect because you have to get it on a plane or like a boat over there. Sorry, that's really dark,
you would watch all these little icons go through the world, and you're like, I hope my virus is on that one. I think.
Oh my god,
Plague Inc. I think that's what it's called. So. Where were you at here?
Nobody trusts anybody now. We're all very tired.
I think, just to mention a few other, let's do, might as well do the Gorometer real quick. Let's
do the Gorometer. We talked a lot about that.
It's time for the Gorometer. Fatality.
So not a lot of gore, then not a lot of gore. A lot of gore, not a lot of gore. So we get a Norwegian one blown up by a grenade. The second one, he gets shot in the face, but we don't see like too much crazy stuff there. Bennings, who is assimilated into a thing. Fuchs, who is an off-screen death, but you see a burnt body there. Norris, he has a heart attack, but then that's when we get the whole chest bursting open. That takes care of Copper. Arms bitten off by a belly. Yep, that's where it is. And then Clark, he just gets shot in the head, but still you get a little headshot and stuff there. Palmer assimilated at some point, and that his body bursts open. Windows had his head eaten by the Palmer thing. Blair whenever Blair was assimilated, ultimately turns into Blair Thing, the giant thing. And then Gary his was gnarly when he gets
Skin-faced.
skin-faced or whatever that was.
With the
Like,
fingers going into the
Was she like
cheeks and stuff.
suffocating him or something? Because we didn't see any like gore resulting from
It's
that.
like it was absorbing. I don't know.
I think a little bit of
Instead,
both.
he
I
drags
think he was
him like by his skin.
yes.
Like
Yes, it forms into like all
You're like-
over his face and just starts dragging him along. The thing shit, I guess. So he gets
just
assimilated,
things.
and Knowles is
thing.
killed off screen. Yeah, things. So we measure the gore here. We measure on a scale of 1 to 5 for intensity and a scale of 1 to 5 for consistency, and add that together. So intensity, I think it could get a 4.5 to a 5 pretty easily.
I would agree.
So when you could say consistency, what do you mean?
like
how
often
much
it is
do you
throughout
see
the
it within
movie.
the film?
Because some movies it's just like one big gore scene at the end,
At
right?
the
And other
end.
movies it's kind
good
of
point.
consistent throughout. So intensity, I would agree. I'd go to 4 to a 5. It's weird because it doesn't quite have real gore, or like we don't get, nobody gets gutted and guts flop out. It's like this weird morphing of
Sure.
insides and humanity and dogs and combining and splitting apart. I'll go 5. Why not?
I'm gonna go with 5. It's like famous for the gore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say 4, but I don't know. You've all convinced me, so I'll do 4.5.
All right.
Perfect. So yeah, we'll sit it at for our official score. We'll give it a 4.75 and split the difference a little bit there.
Perfect.
There you go.
Which I think is good because, like Sam said, it's not like realistic because we're in that sci-fi world, and just it doesn't feel like a real world where like someone
It's not like a
might
slasher.
get gutted or
Yeah.
something.
I
where
mean,
you
even the
feel-
blood
We're
looks
not
like
Art the
the cherry
Clown
syrup.
situation. Yeah, this isn't an Art the Clown
Right.
situation.
Right. Exactly.
And the consistency of it. I mean, we do start off pretty quickly with seeing some gnarly stuff, but it kind of does a little bit more dipping and
In and out.
flowing. But
Mm-hmm.
it's still pretty high because when we do get gore scenes, they kind of go on for a little bit and continue.
Yeah.
within that.
Absolutely. I'm thinking like a 3.5 for me
Okay. I'd give it
out of 5.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. 3.5.
I guess it would help me to know like what's at the very top of your scale. Like what's the goriest one you've ever rated for
The
a
sadness.
Oh yeah. Okay.
The sadness, I mean,
And
technically,
certainly
like
for
Tokyo Gore
consistency
Police.
throughout.
I mean, that was
Okay.
an
No, the
interesting
sadness is
one
a
where we had to give
good
it.
answer. Yeah. Fuck. Okay. Shit. That almost makes me want to change mine.
But
Okay.
that has a much more, because again, it can kind of play into the tone of the movie. The sadness has a
Yeah.
very disturbing tone, like a
Very.
sickness
It's
feel to
meaner.
it. It's
Yeah.
meaner
Much
and it feels
meaner.
gross.
It doesn't have
So
the
that
kind of
gore
like
feels gross.
goofy like entertainment value.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
very much like fuck you for watching this movie.
Right.
Okay.
So 3.5 for me.
Yeah,
For consistency, because it is pretty consistent. 2.5, I usually, that's consider like maybe half the movie. I would say it's a bit more than half the movie. So that's how I got to that.
Cool.
I'd say 3.
I'm gonna go with 3 also.
3.25. Round it.
There you go.
Round it out
Yeah.
again. We
That's
love
good.
our scores and averages.
Mhm.
All right.
So that's an 8.
Do you think? I don't love my math. So
4.75 and 3.25, right?
yeah. I think that's 8.
8 out of
Perfect.
10.
8 out of
Yep.
10.
I'm not
I
gonna
think
math
that
right
works
now.
well for it. Yeah. Do you think the gore level works well for this film? Do you think it should have more or less? I think if it has less, I don't think it has the same
Perfecto.
impact.
I think it's perfect.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
it's exactly
No
right. And I
notes.
think no notes. And I was thinking like as I was watching it, there are a few things more kind of like visually visceral than bright red blood on like ice white snow.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so it's a really cool like combination. So
Yeah, great contrast.
Yes, like a snowy backdrop is always good for a splattering of blood. and gore for sure. Awesome. So let's talk the climax. Ultimately, as I said, they're blowing everything up. They want to kill the thing, and the real big ending to this all is we get Mac and Childs together in the snow, not knowing who is what. And it's meant to be left with you thinking and questioning and wondering and going back. And
Kelly's favorite type of ending.
My favorite type of ending where it's the Inception ending where you have no idea. You just have to debate it for the next like 50 years. So
it's funny you call it the Inception ending. I'm calling it the Lost in Translation ending.
Okay, sure. I think the stakes are higher in Inception than what she says to like Bill Murray or what he says to her or whatever. But
I think
funny.
The Thing was maybe the first time I saw an ending like this. I was like 16 and I remember being fucking like blown away, like, and loving it because it also has that bleak, like, you know, there is no hope type of ending to it, which I don't know I had experienced before at that time as well. So as far as is one of them The Thing, all that stuff, I've never really cared that too much to explore it. And watching it this time, I'm like, seriously, if one of them was The Thing, why wouldn't they just take the other one over? There's only two of them now. Like,
right. Why are they having this whole like?
I know that whole bottle sip
thing.
Theory between passing the
back,
but it's like, why do that? It's just you two.
Sure.
I mean,
there was a bunch of people debating back and forth. There's so many different theories looking at all these different things.
Some
what
tied to the
John
game.
Carpenter has said at what point, stuff with the game as well.
Yep.
The ambiguity of the ending, some test audiences did not have that same reaction because obviously we mentioned it was well received, but some were like, oh God, I hate that. Apparently was one of the quotes I heard.
Yeah, it doesn't always work for me. I will say I'm not like Kelly. Usually I feel like it's cheaping out and not really saying something like, just give me your message and I will figure out whether or not I like your message or not. But in cases like this, that kind of is part of the message. Where something like, I remember the first time I really didn't like it was 3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, no, I hated that ambiguous ending.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, certainly, I think, when it's a really dark story like that, I'm not saying I would necessarily want some light at the end of the tunnel, but like some resolution to help you process like the feelings that you just went through. But I think in this sense for this movie, it super works for me, but I can totally understand why it's not for everyone. I think both opinions are completely valid because it's just about like what you want to get out of the movie and like what strikes your fancy. So
yeah, certainly. I think it works well with what the movie is all about too.
Well, the whodunit
movie's about paranoia,
Yeah.
whodunit, and all this.
And you're not trusting in who's what. And now as an audience member,
Now the
you're
audience.
going who's
We're
what.
brought into it.
Yeah.
In that aspect
It's
as well.
purposeful.
Yes.
You know?
Exactly.
That's a good word for it. Purposeful. Yeah.
Keith David claimed, I think in a Q&A at a con in like 2008, that he said, I don't know about Kurt Russell, but it sure as hell wasn't me. So in his mind, he wasn't a thing.
He's just stirring the shit.
That's funny.
And apparently, so there's The Thing that came out in 2011, which is a prequel.
I only
It
saw that for the first time recently.
It establishes apparently that assimilating its victims, that the alien gets rid of artificial implants. So people have put that lore onto this movie, which it's fun, but it doesn't make sense because they weren't necessarily thinking that when they were making
and it doesn't apply because I looked for things like that because I had watched The Thing, I don't know, 2011 within the past year or so. So certain characters I was like watching to see if they still had little aspects of themselves, and they always did.
They did. Yeah, right.
Did you see that one guy had a nose ring?
Yes.
Yeah,
and I
I
kept
saw
trying
that.
for a while. I was trying to figure out if it even was a nose ring or if he just had like a greasy nose crease because the location and the way it's like perfectly
way back
round
there
on the side.
It's just a very unusual sight for the times for
Totally.
like,
And he's a doctor too. Like I'm thinking he's got more piercings that we can't see.
I think so.
And you mentioned the video game as well. Apparently in that, it was a 2002 video game which John Carpenter endorsed. Mac and Childs were revealed to be both human, and it's supposed that game is supposed to be canonical to the movie. But Carpenter being Carpenter in 2012 said, "Yeah, one of them was a thing."
Yeah. Who gives a shit?
That's what I would do if I was a director too, though.
It does seem like the summary of how he's responded in the years. Like, who gives a shit?
It's kind of like the lore is there. You guys can put the pieces together.
Although I did hear a few different people say that he has hinted like, oh, it's there. You can see it. You just have to look closely for it.
I think I heard like Colbert talking about that or something.
Colbert. Yeah.
Yes.
Colbert.
Yeah. There was a whole thing with that recently. Like only a couple years ago, maybe it was an anniversary or something, and he did a talk afterwards.
Yeah.
I think it was in LA. And they said something about you can figure it out. And it had something to do with, I believe, if just a little bit of it touches you, then it can assimilate you. So when McCready passes the J&B to Childs, he's, has his saliva on it. So now Childs gets it with his saliva, and that's what's passing.
It really reminds me of the Blade Runner discussion, where it's like people will always debate like if Deckard was a replicant.
Right.
And so I think it's just one of those fun movie things that it's 2026 and we're talking about it. Yeah. So I think that's really good. It helps give it lasting, like staying power, because you get to have those debates. So
and I think with the pop culture of it all now, Carpenter, I think, is probably playing into it too. And like,
sure. And he's an old grown-up now, you know what I mean? He doesn't give a shit. When they cut the thumbs to get the blood, he just fucking wipes it on his pants and goes to like the next cut. There's no way you're not spreading all that thing around.
That's what I was
like. Anybody who got it after Palmer would have got
totally
some sort of cross contamination. Yeah, no, there's all sorts of funny little things like that.
The way they cut the thumb is so gnarly too. It's like,
It's
do you
so
need to cut
crazy.
it like
You
that?
You have to like squeeze it.
Yeah. Does it have to be that big?
We know they have
I've had that
syringes and
Dr.
medical
Thumbprint
equipment.
thing. Yeah.
Like, I
Seriously.
feel like they'd have a way to actually draw blood. They have like.
Yeah, like you
Do you
said, they
think
have
they
medical
brought
equipment.
that blood? They have.
No, they I bet
had
they did
blood.
it there. Yeah.
Like they
The
didn't like
phlebotomist
do
is
that
out
before
right now.
and like bring the blood with them. They probably pulled it there, but all the fun little things to talk about here. So before we get into our final questions of the night, any final thoughts? There's plenty more time to have final thoughts, by the way.
the tone, just in general, this like sort of quiet isolation, like the silence of being in the middle of nowhere where it's just wind and the white snow. And even though it is pretty fast paced, things are happening the whole time, it almost feels quiet in a way.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of that. I hadn't said that, so I wanted to get it out there.
I like that. I like his hat.
Oh my
That's
god!
such a funny hat. What kind of hat is that?
You brought
Is that like a?
Yeah, apparently Kurt Russell hated the hat too.
I hate it.
I hate to see why.
I
I
couldn't
love
stop
the hat
laughing.
and the little glasses.
The goggles are cool.
The goggles.
I like the goggles.
Yeah.
Why
And then
couldn't they
there's the
just
one
give him-
point where he's wearing the hood and it's all like,
Sure.
oh.
Why couldn't they just give him a
He's a
fucking
little
cowboy
cutie.
hat? They had to give him this weird, like floppy old, like
It's the
prospector hat.
swashbuckler hat.
Yeah,
Like,
it was leftover
the
from when
swashbuckling
Toby Hooper
hat.
was going to do it. Yeah.
I can't believe I'm so glad you brought that up. I was
all
dying.
Reminds me
starts
of
with
like
the
a
hat.
Yukon hat for some
yeah,
reason.
yeah, it is.
Like
yeah.
he likes a gold miner or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what they were doing. Maybe they're like,
There you go.
maybe there's gold in Antarctica. Let's
It's
blow
been
some
hidden
things
from
up.
us.
Try to find
They're
that gold.
for the corporation.
I
Yeah,
got
there you
the
go.
perfect hat. And so many. We'll talk about his iconography in a second. Cool. Yeah. Let's jump into the crematorium of questions. Questions for tonight, the crematorium of questions as we have it. First one is, how would we survive this? So basically, we have been shipped off to an Antarctic research lab, and seemingly a thing has come over and imitated some. You know what I'm saying here?
Imitate.
Took someone over. How do you think you would handle yourself in that situation? Would you survive this?
I think I'd be like Blair and crack up and they'd like lock me somewhere to
Honestly.
forget about it.
I don't know if I was smart enough. If I was able to get to the blood testing point of a situation where we have a way to kind of figure things out, I feel like I might be like, guys, can't we keep doing the thing that determined like, so then we can know we can work together.
Test that they never do again.
Can we do the can we do the thing test again?
Thing test. Oh, that's such a good question.
Tough.
Yeah, that's such a good question.
This is a really hard one to survive
It
because
is.
even if you survive the monster, you're not going to survive the elements. You know, they're like, okay, well, we're going to freeze to death. That's cool. Well, literally. But so
Yeah, nobody survives.
yeah. So, I mean,
And the last place the thing was, the last base it was at, also nobody survived. But part of that was they got shot and blew themselves up.
Yeah, that's kind of almost their fault, but they were doing it to try to stop the thing. I mean, noble in the sense that they did go after it. They could have, I guess, taken their helicopter and left.
Oh yeah,
because they at least had a functioning helicopter. The Antarctic base we're at, everything gets destroyed.
Yeah, which was pretty funny.
I think
Blair's like running around,
screwed.
just like wrecking everything. I think this one, I don't know if this is survivable, to be honest. Like as bleak as that sound, that's not very Final Girl behavior of me, but you're pretty fucked, to be honest.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I always try to find a way, but part two of the question can sometimes be is like, how many of us need to be sacrificed for someone to live?
Right.
But I think, again, everyone is in some aspect surviving, and then ultimately it leads to everyone
you would
dying.
have to completely isolate, like completely 100%. And that means you would have to have supplies, that would last you until God knows when, other people would show up. But certainly you're not going to be safe if you're alongside any other person. So, but maybe it could break in. I don't know. So
you'd have to get to it quick, I imagine. Like that's the only real way to you figure it out within the first 2 or 3 people or something.
You got to figure it out quick, because even when they appear dead, the cell activity is still going, right?
Good point.
Yeah.
All right, we're all dead. We didn't make it. All right, we're gonna get to our hero level. I guess do we have 2 heroes, Mac and Childs, or is it just Mac?
I would have said McCready is the hero.
McCready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I
so
love
we'll base
Childs,
it on him.
but
So do I. So for our hero level, we do kind of the same thing as the Gora meter, but we measure it with the tenacity of them. So 1 through 5, and the iconography of the character, a 1 through 5. I will say, obviously makes it to the end of the film, but is able to handle some elements outside. He gets locked outside for a little bit.
Oh yeah, he gets locked outside, loses the rope, crawls back in, holds dynamite, and is going to blow himself and everybody up. That's pretty tenacious, I would say. 4?
Sure, why not? We're very loosey-goosey with these scores. By the way,
we like to score things if you haven't noticed.
Wait, so it was just the tenacity. Was there another one? I can't.
Iconography.
Iconography. Okay. Tenacity. Yeah. 3 out of 4. Is it? Yeah.
It's out of 5.
Out of 5. Sorry. 3. Then let's do 4 out of 5.
I agree.
4. I think that's 4s all around. Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. Then his iconography. I mean, it's a very specific look. I mean, if you see someone going
those black goggles, I know exactly.
I definitely see you could do a good cosplay of it. We always try to think of it like, if you're walking around a con, would you recognize this character? But if you do someone in a parka and maybe even have like a freeze, like
flamethrower on your back
effect on you,
there you go.
Flamethrower on your back for sure. You could easily. I think that's easily recognizable. But would that? The next question I kind of ask is, would that permeate? Does that go past super horror nerds,
like pop culture?
That's a really good.
Like my mom would not recognize anybody from the thing.
But my mom, but our moms would know what Freddy Krueger is, type of thing.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So 4?
Maybe 4.
3.5 for me.
3.5.
When the like costume for the character is like borderline normal regular clothes, then that's not like, I'm a cosplay nerd. Yeah. And so I'm like, I like it to be a little extra. And so, parka is fine, but also you could wear that when it's cold.
You can buy that in a store. You don't have to make it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna give him a 2 because honestly, if they don't have the hair and the beard and everything, then I probably would be like, this is really a half-assed.
Could be anybody
cosplay.
from the thing.
If it's not the clothes, then it has to be kind of like the swagger or the.
I think a flamethrower is really indicative.
Yeah.
But you could see a bearded, long-haired man walking around in his parka at a con and be like, "Oh, sweet, are you Kurt Russell from the thing?" And I'd be like, "What?"
I would be like, "Are you
It could
dying in
just
this
be like
heat
what
at
he's
San
wearing.
Diego?" Yeah.
3.5, 3.25, somewhere around those ranges.
3.25.
3, I think 3.25, sure.
Perfect. Why not?
7.25.
Exactly. Thank you, Sam. All right. So our villain level, the thing, we measure this a little bit differently. Iconography is still included, but the other one is its power level. How powerful is this thing? And it's
So 5
it's
would be like
pretty-
God tier.
Right.
And 1 would be, I don't know, regular human. So, I mean, it can, once it gets you, it's over. And once it's even in your area, it's over. And it wins ultimately in this, but obviously it's not a god. It can't like alter reality or anything.
but I'd say it is pretty high. They speculate that the thing is some sort of like world destroyer. Like it gets in,
Right.
infects everything. That's pretty damning. So maybe a 4.5.
I'm going to go 4.
Because I don't want to give it that, because we have covered movies where there are gods characters and they are the
Oh
fives.
yeah, sure. So what's the most powerful character? Now I want to know.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
what's
Where's
don't
the
your
know.
ranking for? I want to see.
That's a great question.
That is a good question.
I don't
Because
It's
remember.
okay. I put you on the spot. You don't have to think of it right now.
I immediately think of something like we covered a movie called Revealer, and there's a god called Asmodeus in it, and he's just a literal,
A
devil god or
god.
whatever. So
Yeah.
he
My first thought
Gets-
was Color Out of Space, although that's not really a god, but it's still,
Blurple.
it's kind of like this, world consuming.
Oh, maybe the gods in like Cabin in the Woods. Like,
Oh, yeah,
That too.
exactly.
Yes.
That would be
Yeah.
a great example. We haven't covered that, but
but you've seen it. I
Yeah, I
hope
know
I
what
didn't
it is.
spoil it. Okay. Okay.
It was our 420 episode.
Yeah. Fun.
4? 3.75? 4?
I'm at 4.
I go with 3.5. I guess it kind of depends on how you define like powerful. I guess if you think about it in terms of like how much of a threat it is to humanity, then sure, I would
Part
rate
of it
it
is
higher.
also how killable it is.
It seems pretty killable. Well, but then its cells are kind of still alive. I don't
It
know.
seems easy to
right.
transfer,
You can,
which means it would be more lethal, more powerful.
I'm going to give it a 3.5 because, I mean, they are just blasting it with fire all the time. And then it's mostly vanquished. Obviously it's split up a million times by then. So if it's threat to humanity, maybe a 4.5, but I'm going to go with 3.5 just based on what we see in this movie. So
It's a good point, because the location really does mess with the thing.
yeah.
It got frozen, and it
Yeah.
presumably would just get frozen again in this situation. But if
And
it
it's
was
very
in a
mushy.
populated area,
Yeah.
very mushy. Okay, yeah, let's give it a 3.75. So that's interesting. Iconography, that's
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 tough 'cause
hard.
it's to other people, right? So you'd have to think of the
Shapeshifter.
creatures, really, like the dog, the guy, chest
The head-
opening,
the
head
spider
falling
head.
off, the spider
The
head,
spider
with the
Spiderhead is
antenna,
probably one of the
very
most
iconic.
iconic.
100%.
And the chest or the belly teeth,
Belly,
whatever you call
belly
it.
bite.
Yeah.
So it all hits on, and I think all those different aspects are the same. Is it the same creature? Yeah, right. It's all the same. At the end of the
Do we
day.
know
I
that?
guess, yeah.
I don't know.
I
I was
don't
wondering
know.
it. Yeah.
Is it like a hive mindy type of thing? Is that what you mean?
I don't
But again, that goes to, does it, like we talked about, does it even have a mind? What is it purposely
Yeah.
doing all these types of things? So anyway, all these creatures together, I think, are very iconic, especially one with the spider head. I feel like
Spider
is really out there.
Absolutely.
And people know that image.
Yeah, they even did it in the new It movie, I remember. There's definitely a spider head in it.
They did the thing in it.
Wow.
We've come full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I mean, I think maybe for horror nerds, yeah, it's iconic, but
Yes,
as we were
outside of that,
talking,
not
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
No,
you,
good point.
like my parents wouldn't know what the thing was, but they would know the xenomorph or Predator.
Sure. Yep.
Good point.
I'm
Yep.
gonna go 4 again.
Yeah.
Plus, I feel like, I mean, some people are going to think, oh, severed head reanimator. Like, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Actually,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
there's-
go 3.5.
More horror nerds though.
Yeah.
3.5.
That's not
works,
a
I think.
pedestrian horror watcher there, Kelly.
I'll go 3.5.
I think 3.5 works.
Hmm.
Sam, you're gonna math this for me. 3.5, 3.75.
7.25.
Is it?
Is that evenly matched?
It would be evenly matched, which is interesting because they do kind of evenly match up. Ultimately, I guess the thing wins out because everyone dies, but
We always like to see if the hero level and villain level match up for who wins and
Yeah.
who is defeated. And this one's tied.
Oh wow.
And
That
it
seems
kinda
that
is
seems
a tie.
right.
appropriate.
Yeah,
That's
that
really
seems right.
it ends with, well, I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah, there,
Yeah.
there you go.
Perfect.
so it somehow it works again this time. Do you think this movie in and of itself, there is no sequel game or prequel, do you think it should have a sequel?
No. I'd rather have a remake.
Yes. I'm
Even
with
though
you.
we kind of got a remake prequel thing.
Mhm.
It's one of those things you can use it as a metaphor to talk about whatever's happening in the day. It reminded me a bit of like the first one. I wondered if it came out during like blacklisting and communism and all that thing because of like sort of the same thing with Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And then actually just now as we were talking, I was like, I wonder if where we were in the AIDS epidemic and knowing that because of the transfer of blood and how quickly it can get you and everything. I did Google it. Apparently it officially started in 1981. So this was a year later as an epidemic. So I don't know if they were trying to use this as a metaphor for that in any way or what they'd be trying to say if they were.
Capitalizing on the fear.
But I think you can apply metaphor to it. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's also there's just a lot of themes, masculinity and bravado and all of that, especially since there are no women in it. So and there's a lot of discussions now about bravado and masculinity, machismo and alpha males and manosphere and stuff like that. So I think it could be retold, and I would love to see it retold with from a woman's perspective, a female director or something
give
like
us
that.
a fresh take on it.
Yeah.
We don't need a shot for shot. We have the thing.
Yeah.
Give us a spin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think, this movie is really a bunch of dudes chest beating, with each other. Like, no, I definitely can't have it. You definitely haven't. So it would play out differently if you had mixed genders in there.
What if it was like an all-female version of the thing?
I would so be here for that.
We were just talking about the Lost Boys and like what if it was Lost Girls.
I'm surprised that hasn't been done.
Yeah,
honestly. I'm going to agree. I think that this could be, I think if this were going to be retold in any sort of like way that would add value to it as like an IP, I think now would be the time, both for the like themes that we're talking about, and then also because there has been a resurgence of practical effects.
I knew you were gonna
And so, and I don't have a problem with CGI, but the whole point of this movie is the practical effects. And so you have to do it that way. And we can see that it can be done with, Terrifier was a good example. It's like the same type of just like really cartoonish, really tactile gore. And so if they were willing to go that route, I could see it working. If it turned into like a CGI like Monster Fest, then no. So
like The Thing 2011. That was why I didn't see it forever, because I had heard that it was mostly computers.
I'm gonna rewatch it, but I'm sure like
it is. There's very little practical effects. But I had already known that and saw it 15 years after it came out, or 14 years, whatever it was. So it didn't bother me too much. I knew I was expecting it.
Right. Great. Is there anything that you would want from the film? A prop from it? I think
Like
the,
to take
the
home?
spider head. Yeah, to have on your
Spider head.
shelf. We like to say to have in our crypt,
crypt.
of props.
I want the hat.
Perfect.
Come back to the hat.
No, that's a great one.
Can I have the Kurt Russell?
Oh, right.
Just
Yeah.
Kurt Russell? Yeah, throw him in there. Why not?
Certified
Throw him in
final,
there.
certified final daddy, 100%.
Very fun.
It works.
I would want the computer.
Ah, you
Oh,
would.
yeah,
The
yeah,
chess computer?
queen.
Yeah,
Chess master or whatever it is.
Chess master, yeah.
I was thinking about that. It's a whole ass computer devoted just to chess. That's wild.
Which
But
I
it
already
cheats.
don't play.
But
But
it
it cheats,
cheats, right?
apparently.
Yeah.
Does it cheat, or is he just
And
bad at it?
He's just a bad.
just chess computer, but they also have this other computer that's giving you probabilities
Yeah.
of infection and how stuff takes out stuff over and everything else.
Oh, I can't decide.
Bottle of Jam B. That's
There you
from
go.
the thing. Yeah, sure.
Perfect. And we'll end on at the midnight showing. If you were to go to see this on a midnight showing where you're hooting and hollering, yelling along lines with you, what would be the things to yell along with, or we like to say also throw at the screen? This would be like a
like
good
in
one.
the
There's
room?
some-
Throw snow.
yeah,
Like throwing spoons.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That kind of sentiment, a Rocky Horror Picture Show vibe to it.
The newspaper.
I want everybody to yawn after he says, and we're all very tired.
I like one of my favorite lines is when I can't remember who McCready's talking to, but he's like, I don't know, man. I just want to go up to my room and get drunk.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I like that too.
Everybody could do a shot or something.
Yeah,
Have a doobie that
exactly.
you light when the
Right.
Palmers
When they're passing it,
lighting
you
that.
pass one to your neighbor.
Yeah.
See, it's very interactive. Or at the end when he's like, when the thing like screams or whatever, and he's like, "Yeah, fuck you too."
Yeah, that's a good
Oh,
one.
that's a good one.
That's a good one.
I'd yell out, "My arms!" when the guy's arms get big
Oh,
up.
that's good. That's good.
Throw fake
Perfect.
arms that from Spirit
Oh
Halloween.
yes,
yeah.
yes,
Very good.
that's a good thing to throw. Perfect. Maybe like weird teeth. I don't know
Yeah.
what teeth. Throw
Goo.
teeth at the
Dog
screen.
skulls.
Throw
you know.
like some gack at the screen. All right, let's do the ratings.
I only want your fingers.
Should we all, cut our fingers open and bleed on it?
Can you wrap your fingers around this?
I'll take a Voorhees burger and a side of Jason's bacon.
Show them.
On this show, we use a rating scale of 0 to 5 fingers. Each finger represents a different quality about a movie. These ratings are intended to be subjective on how we feel about a movie, not if the movie is objectively good or bad. So Sam and I will start it off and go over each one. I'm going to start with you, Sam. Well,
Okay.
I'll do this.
Yeah.
Ross sent a radio transmission from Outpost 31 with his score, so we'll listen in on that.
All right, guys, I'm coming to you live from Outpost 31 with my rating, and it is so cold up here. Oh my God. All right, so we're going to go, with engaging. Engaging is going to be the full one. I mean, this movie has me fully engaged the entire time, and I think it's because I'm just even scientifically trying to go through any Easter eggs to try to get me to the final who's who of the movie. So every single time, even knowing how the movie plays out, I am still 100% attentive to this movie. It goes into Sticky. I mean, God, Sticky's also going to get a 1. I mean, this movie is insanely quotable. The transformation scenes, the humor, just the horror, just the weird body, just God, the dog kennel scene, the chest opening up and eating hand scene is just, like, all of it is just nuts. You gotta be fucking kidding me. When we get to see Crabhead, Stuffable. Stuffable's also going to be a 1. I've owned the Thing t-shirts. I have the Thing action figures. There's so much cool stuff visually in this movie that could be represented in so many different things from merchandise. Cockles. Cockles is going to get the full 1. This hits all of the notes simultaneously for me. I mean, we've got science fiction horror, we've got body horror, we've got a creature feature, and then on top of that, we have this like Agatha Christie, and then there was none Giallo-y kind of like who's who done it kind of undertone to this entire film, because you can't trust anybody, and you have no idea who is the Thing? So it kind of has this, like, dare I say, almost slasher vibe to it, like, but more giallo, where it's like you just don't know who's who in this film, so you don't really know who to trust. And then rewatchable. I rewatch this movie at least once a year. So, I mean, like, rewatchable is going to get the full one. This is a full 5 for me. This is like one of the cornerstones of, I mean, it's one of the best John Carpenter films ever made, on top of just being just a really fun ride. This is one of those kind of bridge gap films for me, because it is a really, really interesting nod, because it is a science fiction movie, but it is also a horror movie. It's also a mystery movie. So this is a great gateway movie for people that may not really think that they're into sci-fi or they're into horror. Although the horror and body horror stuff is insane, it balances out with a little bit of humor and a little bit of mystery. So yeah, it's got the full 5 for me. So I hope that everyone here at least listeners watch it once. Also, hold on, what is that? So I'm going through this entire, Brian, you got some, these are shredded clothes. They got your name on it. What is it? Wait, what is that? What is that? Wait, hold on, guys.
Thanks,
wow,
Ross.
5. Thanks, Ross.
I had a feeling that was happening.
Yeah, I knew you'd give it a 5.
All right, Sam, let's go over to you now and kick us off. First Finger is engaging. How engaged were you with this movie?
Engaging. I was very engaged with it. I've seen it. So interestingly enough, I saw it in high school and it kind of blew me away, but it didn't become a regular watch for me for whatever reason. I only saw it maybe 2 or 3 times since then, until maybe 5 years ago. And now I've watched it probably like 6 times in 5 years. So, and even now, each time I'm kind of, because once you know the game, right, you know the thing, you're looking for things to look for to tip you off for different bits and who's doing what and why is this. And I watched the dog in the beginning a lot more this time than I had before. Especially it runs up and licks I think it's Bennings right away, runs up and licks his face. I'm like, oh,
yeah, I noticed that.
You just got thinged.
Whoops.
Right?
You just got things.
You just got thinged.
But so engaging, I'll put it a 1. Sticky, how much, it sticks with you, how much you think about it afterwards. It's going to be a 1 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, is a 1 the highest rating?
Yeah. We can cut off one, a whole finger each time to get up to 5.
Okay.
So each of the 5 categories, yeah, you can rate it up to a 1.
0.25,
then...
0.5, 0.75, or 1. And then we add it all together.
Okay.
Stuffable. I'm wearing a t-shirt right now. There's
Stuffable.
I
this
thought that meant
weird
something
little
way different.
Yeah, well, the cockles is next. There's this little like NECA figure of the poster, I think, that's like this sort of 3D looking thing. I want to get that. It's very stuffable. The character design, there's just a lot that I like in this and would get. Cockles, what does it do for the cockles of my heart? How do I feel about it? How does it make me feel? It's definitely a 1. It's, again, that atmosphere alone gets me. And then there's so many other things to dive into. And rewatchable is definitely a 1. Like I said, I watched it a ton recently compared to the rest of my life, but it's one of those movies, kind of like Return of the Living Dead. When we did that, I talked about I never watched it as much as I wanted to. And so I've kind of been fixing that since then.
Sure.
So that's 5 out of 5.
Awesome. It feels good. 5 out of 5.
Feels good. I thought I'd give it a 5 out of 5. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. I'll go next.
Here's where it gets interesting.
Yeah. I'm definitely engaged with the movie, still watching it. Like you said, you're looking for, once you know, if you've seen it once, you know what's happening. So you're looking for things now, and it keeps you engaged in that sense. It's also beautiful to look at all the weird stuff going on, the scenery and the images as well. So I will give it a 1 for there. Sticky. How much do I like thinking about it, and how memorable is it? That's interesting, because I think a lot of the gore scenes are certainly memorable, but the some of the in between I certainly forgot about and didn't necessarily remember all the characters. I remember like the heavy hitter characters, but it is such a big cast. So that's a little hard to navigate through. So I think for Sticky, I will give it a 0.75. Stuffable. What do I want any stuff from this movie? Any representation of it? And I think it is very stuffable. I think there's a lot of cool stuff. Either if it's an action figure, a T-shirt, the poster. There's a lot of different merchandise essentially from the film that works. And I'd take it. I actually don't think I own things, but it's not because I don't want to.
Sure.
Yeah. A 1. Now, how did it make me feel? The cockles. This is a tough one because we also talk about there's like the good feelings, like you like living in this world and all this stuff, but there's like a good bad feeling to a movie. Sometimes movies can make you feel bad, but you like how bad it makes you feel. I don't like the bad feeling this gives me with the animal stuff.
With the
so
dog
I
stuff?
have to knock it off there. But the other stuff is so strong that it doesn't like shoot it down too far to like a 0.5. I'll give it a 0.75 again. Rewatchable, I think is going to get the 0.75. It kind of plays into that last little bit. I enjoy watching the latter half of the movie so much. So I am reluctant to want to go through that beginning
First
part
bit.
Essentially. Yeah. So what is that? What is that? A 4.25?
4.25. How does that
Which
feel?
I think is good. I wanted to get it above a 4. I think it's a very deserving movie of that and good in all those aspects. But you know
I
how it is.
understand. Yep.
So
totally
we'll
get
get to the total score officially in a moment, but let's go over to our guests. Who wants to start? Sarah?
Sure. Okay. So
I'll walk you through it. So
Okay.
we're going to start with engaging. How engaged with the movie are you while you're watching
Oh,
it?
full finger.
Yeah. Cut it off.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, it's exactly. It's so engaging. It's a classic for a reason. And it's just great. Start to finish. I love it.
Next is sticky, meaning does the movie stick with you after you've watched it? You keep thinking about things within it. You enjoy thinking about those things, or is it memorable?
Oh yeah. How can you not? The ending is so ambiguous. You're going to be thinking about it, long after any time someone mentions the movie, you're going to bring up the ending. And yeah, absolutely. I'm going to give it a full finger on that.
Yeah.
Nice. Then the stuffable is basically the merchandise. Do you want things of this movie? Like, do you think it
has cool enough character design that there are things to want?
Okay, so that changes things because I'm not a stuff person.
Sure.
I don't like buying a lot of stuff. Probably not. Just I would say half of a finger with that.
Yeah, cool.
And then the cockles of the heart. Does this give you feeling? Do you enjoy, I guess, what this movie is, the feeling of it?
It's more about like the vibe
world?
it gives you.
Yes,
do you like that
0.75. I'm with you on that though, about the dog stuff. Like that knocks it down a quarter. But yeah, 0.75.
I feel that. And rewatchable. It's kind of like, hey, do you want to rewatch it? And not necessarily do you always rewatch it? Like, doesn't have to always
full finger.
be on, but
Full finger.
Nice. Awesome. That's a 4.25 as well. Yeah.
Perfect.
How does that feel? Does that feel right?
It feels wonderful.
All
Awesome.
right. It's working.
Yeah.
All right, Kelly. It starts with engaging. Yeah.
Okay, mine's gonna end up being very similar to Sarah's because I was like keeping track, like while you were going through it, and I was thinking like, "Yep, I agree. Yep, I agree."
Yeah.
It's almost like we podcast together or something.
Strange, fucking weird. Yeah. So, yes, engaging, full finger. It's super like even if you know what's gonna happen, you're still like really invested, which I love.
Right.
What was number 2?
Sticky. Memorable.
Sticky.
Thinking about it.
Yes, agreed with a full finger there because, like we said, there's a lot to discuss after the fact. Nirvana and I did go through the game at one point, and it's very, very, very dated, but it's actually not that bad a game. So, like, there's still some like additional content there. That's actually,
sure.
You know what they should do is redo the game at this point because it would be so awesome.
That could be interesting. Yeah,
it could be like a Dead Space type of game, but in the Arctic. So that'd be cool. Stuffability. Agree with Sarah. Would I wear a t-shirt? Yes. Am I going to seek one out? No. And there have been movies that I immediately was on eBay, like looking to see what kind of shit I could get. And it's not because I don't like it, but it's just like the imagery, we talked about the poster it feels a little underwhelming to me. And it's also just so ubiquitous that I don't know. I like some imagery that is, that maybe like stands out a little bit more, but I probably won't get a poster either because I'm just drowning in posters, for fuck's sake. So so half a finger, I think. Cockles.
The cockles of your heart.
I'm gonna go half a finger on this because yes, it is rough at the beginning, pun not intended. And so that's challenging. There are lots of movies that give me those like warm fuzzy horror feelings that don't contain some of that, and so maybe I seek those out instead. But rewatchability, full finger. I mean, I think that the story's not that deep, but that's fine. There's a lot to look at here. There's a lot of fun performances. The guys all like play off each other in interesting ways. And you're kind of, it's one of those movies where like your allegiances kind of keep shifting. Like obviously you're with MacReady the whole time, but at the same time you're like, okay, but like who else can we get on our team? So I like watching it from that perspective too. And I think it's really cool that it ends up with MacReady and Childs because they're obviously the ones who have like the strongest on-screen presence. And so it's cool to end up on that duo with the final scene and everything. So rewatchability, full finger.
Awesome. Cool. That gives you a 4 out of 5.
Does that feel right? What do you think you would rate it if you didn't do it on our scale out of 5?
I think I would give it a 4 out of 5. And I mean, if fingers aside, and categories aside, I mean, it's a great fucking movie, and it does hold up, and the effects are amazing. It's just, I'm reserving 5s for like my top tier, like I rewatch all the time, comfort, fucking awesome horror. So this just isn't, if I were to name my top like 20 horror movies of all time, this wouldn't be there, but it would be high. It would be high.
Yeah.
But I can't give it a 5 for that reason.
I get it. Awesome. So real quick, we had a couple of our acolytes chime in about the movie Kate. The Tiger Snake Kate said, my second favorite John Carpenter movie. So she is in the Halloween, gets the top spot group. This is one of the, now that you've started to love horror, you need to watch this movies that my dad introduced me to. Anytime someone says this is their favorite movie, they get a nice little nod of respect from me. Kurt Russell is endlessly cool. The effects are fun and often disgusting. What's not to love? I like the uncertainty of the ending and the debate it catalyses. Full marks from me, 5 out of 5.
Thank you, Kate. I'm going to jump over to Scotty's response because he kind of wrote off Kate's response. He said, I'm with Kate. Halloween remains my fave Carpenter, but this one's close. I don't have much to say that hasn't been said before. It's a classic, one of the top classic horror films of all time. I just wish more podcasts would talk about it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's not that
I think that was sarcasm.
There, right? Sarcastic Scotty. And
funny.
Lastly, Tibu says this is John Carpenter at the height of his powers, which remained high, in my opinion, through to Mouth of Madness. The paranoia is profound. This ensemble cast makes this almost feel like a stage play at times. I can see that. Ooh, and I mean that as a compliment, especially in the blood test scene. Oh my God. Yeah. The Thing on 100%. Broadway.
That'd be fun. I am here for that.
A stage play would really work. Yeah.
That would be like the Evil Dead musical.
Right. The first 2 rows, Splatter Zone.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm so here for that.
Goes without saying, but the practical effects are legendary and iconic. Brilliant film for one of horror's best directors. cut all my digits off, burn them before it gets you too. So that's a 5 from T-Boo. So thank you guys for your chiming in there. Real quick, the score is officially from us. This is just the three
hosts of the show. You two aren't included in our average score. I'm sorry.
It just makes it remain a little bit more consistent, but a 4.8. So it sits very high with other 4.8 such as Terrified, Rec 3 Genesis, Slither, which is interesting because that's another tentacly movie.
I like
Predator, Day of the Dead, One Cut of the Dead. Just below it is the Babadook and Revealer, as I mentioned before, and a couple, plenty of other things there.
Sure.
So it sits very high up. It remains in the crypt and hanging on. And with that, we will conclude tonight's meeting of Chuddle the Pod. Thank you again so much to our guests, Sarah.
Thank you for having us.
The Final
this
Girls.
is so fun. Yeah.
Please let everyone know where to find you. What's the best way to get at you guys?
Yeah. So you can find us on Instagram, Final Girls, the podcast, on Blue Sky, Final Girls Podcast. We are on all the streaming platforms. But if you can't find us there, because there are a few podcasts with Final Girls in the name, you can find everything on our website, final-girls.com. Episodes every Wednesday. We have a Patreon, and in our Patreon, we have bonus episodes like Final Cats, and we just did our first Final Dog. We have, lots of fun stuff going on our Patreon.
I saw in your main feed you had like a Jonesy.
We had a Jonesy.
That was our first Final Cat.
That was our first Final Cat.
Then Clovis from
That's
Sleepwalkers.
Yep. We have a lot of that planned. So yeah, we have a lot of fun. We love talking to new friends and, following up with old friends. So yeah, drop us a line. We love talking about horror. So thank you again for having us.
Thank you so much.
This is so fun.
Yeah, thanks for being here. We'll make sure to get some of those links and put them in the show description.
They will definitely be down there. And if you're enjoying the show and you want to stay trapped in the club with us, you can follow Chuddle the Pod on Instagram and Threads. I think we're on there.
Yep.
If you want to see Ross's, Sam does that all. If you want to see Ross's killer tattoo work, follow at Ross Purvis on Instagram. If you're in the Central Florida area, go get tattooed by him. He also has a shop where you can buy stuff from him as well. He makes cool art. Chill the Sam, chill the Brian, chill the Ross on Letterboxd. See what we're watching. Want to hang out with everyone else? Come in our Discord. Everyone's hanging out, talking about these movies and many other things. There's a link to all that gooey goodness in the show description below. I don't know who we're doing next time, but whatever.
There'll be another episode.
There'll be another episode. It'll keep coming. And until next time, avoid the time loop.